Hello everybody, welcome back to Fifield Junction, and once again another review for you. Now, as we can see today, I'd say something rather special, in my opinion anyway, something that's quite rare as well, as far as I'm aware. Well, I say that, I know it's rare because obviously you don't see these very often. But yes, today we've got, as we can see, it's a Hornby Class 50 and it's in the Civil Engineers Dutch livery, and it's also DCC sound fitted, which is really nice. I've been looking for one of these models for a very long time. I know it doesn't exactly fit into my era. Like I mainly model the modern GWR era with the the modern Great Western Main Line, but I do love my 1980s stock as well. I really do like the 1980s and 90s. I think I just love a lot of the stock that ran during that time, even though I was too late for it. I really do love the the 1980s and 1990s, mainly freight, not as much passenger, but mainly freight. Also things like the rail freight triple grey and the sectorizations and everything. I really do love those liveries, which is why I do have some items of stock in those particular liveries. But I mainly wanted one of these as well because when I first saw it, I just thought, wow, that is really unique. It's got a sound, it's so different. I just thought I really want to get one of those. But the thing with these is they are very hard to get hold of, or quite hard to get hold of anyway. These very rarely come up online. These are very rare models, and getting one can be quite difficult. I have seen a few. This was probably the third or fourth one I've seen in the last few years, but that's still not a lot. That's obviously not very common at all. But I managed to get this one online, and it was a bargain as well. It was an absolute bargain of a price, mainly because when I first bought it and I could see why it was listed that way, it was listed as a very poor runner, and when I first got it and I first got it out and first ran it, it really did not run very well. Apologies if I have to pause the video every now and then. I'm unfortunately coming down with a cold. So apologies if I have to keep pausing the video because it means I've got to cough, and I obviously don't want to be coughing throughout the entire video because that would be very annoying. But anyway, putting my health to one side because we're not interested in that at the moment. Obviously, it's a Hornby Class 50. This particular one is named Valiant. I think I said that right. And it's 50015, and it's in the Civil Engineers Dutch livery, and it's quite a nice livery as well, actually. I'm not sure, I don't know much about the real thing of this particular loco. I'm pretty sure this particular loco has been scrapped. I don't think this one exists anymore, but at least we got it in model form, and it's obviously sound fitted as well. But going back to what I was saying before about the model being a poor runner, it really was. It basically ran really slowly. It would barely move at all. To be honest, it moved so slow, I'd say it was the scale speed it did was probably less than walking pace, to be honest. It was so slow. But luckily, it was nothing serious. I did the usual sort of things that people probably do with a loco like this if it runs badly. The first thing I did is I disconnected the operating fan mechanism, because for a start, I'm not really interested in the operating fan mechanism anyway. In my opinion, you don't really notice it. I'm certainly not interested in it. So I disconnected it, and that helped, but it still ran quite slow. So I gave it a clean, I gave it a service, gave it an oil, I ran it around the layout, gave it a nice period of running in, and after that, what a difference. It now runs so much better, so much better. It's an absolutely brilliant runner now. Probably, well, actually no, I was gonna say maybe it still runs too slow, but no, it definitely doesn't run slow anymore. It now runs really well, runs at nice realistic speeds, and it's a really good model now. As for the box, unfortunately my particular box for this model isn't complete. There's no polystyrene sleeve, unfortunately, with this one. Obviously if you buy it, it most likely will, but my particular one didn't, and the model just came wrapped, the loco just came wrapped in bubble wrap inside this box. But luckily, due to the fantastic packaging of the retailer, it arrived in one piece and it's absolutely fine. If we flip the model over, we can see there's information on the back there about this particular loco, and obviously the Class 50 in general. And we can also see there about some information about the sound as well. So that's not too bad. That's really nice. But obviously we're not really interested in the box. What we really need to do is look at the loco itself. So here we are. Here is the model itself. And obviously the first thing you notice, and I know I say this a lot, but obviously it's a very obvious thing, is the weight. Loads of weight, really heavy model, which is good, because obviously that's going to provide lots of traction so she can pull some nice realistic trains. Currently I don't actually have anything for her to pull, apart from I think I have like one ballast wagon in the same livery, and that's about it. But I don't mind running her by herself at the moment. It's nice to just see her running around the layout, hearing the sound, and she does look really good. Obviously she does have working lights, as I should expect. There is loads of buffer beam detail. You have to be so careful that you don't damage any of it actually. One of the steps is missing on this side, but that was listed in the description, so I knew that she was missing a step. But that's fine with me. I don't really notice it, to be honest. Obviously sprung buffers, which is a nice touch. Obviously people do ask what's the point of sprung buffers and similar features. Well, it's just realism, I suppose. Obviously a lot of us like realism. Some of us don't. Obviously if you don't care about realism, then obviously you don't have to worry about these. You can, if you want to, just buy a cheap Lima version of this or something that doesn't have sprung buffers and is quite basic, and that could be fine for you. But some people really do like realism. Sometimes I do find sprung buffers can be useful. I find especially for things such as if you're just parking a loco up on the siding. It just looks quite nice if you're parking a loco up and it buffers up to another loco and you can see the buffers move. It's just realism, I suppose. So I quite like them. Quite like sprung buffers. Plus, with the price of models these days, obviously you are paying for features like that. So it's nice to have them, because these days, with the prices you are paying, it's good to get those features because you are technically paying for them. But overall, this model is really fantastic. Again, detail is really good. The bogies turn quite nicely. The pickup mechanism on the Hornby Class 50s, I'm pretty sure it hasn't changed since Hornby started doing the Class 50 as a premium model. It's the axle box style pickups, I believe, on these. So you probably can't see it because I think Hornby have hidden it so well in the bogie frame. But there is a strip of metal that runs down the outside of the bogie frame here and on the other side, and it's the same on the other bogie as well. And that contacts the axle boxes on all of the wheels, so all of the wheels pick up. And as you can see on the outside there, the axles do sit in some nice bearings. So she does run very well. To us, most locos these days do run very well, unless you get a dud one or for whatever reason it doesn't run very well. But the model does run very well, although for some reason this model, my particular one, it might need some more servicing and need some more work doing to it due to its age. But it does seem to cut out probably more than it should, to be honest, especially going over items such as the double slip that I have in my sidings for my locos. It cuts out going over that. It cuts out on some of the points. I'm not too sure why it cuts out, because it shouldn't do really. I'm pretty sure all of the pickup wires are still in place, so none of those should be damaged. We can see one of them there, and that's definitely still attached to the bogie. And I believe it's the same on all of the others as well, because I did check it before I actually ran the loco when I first got it not too long ago. So she does run well, but maybe she just needs a bit more of a clean. One thing I did think maybe was the previous owner had lubricated the axle boxes themselves, and that could be hindering the connection. I'm not too sure. But when she does run, which is most of the time, she does run very well without cutting out. It's just some points she doesn't like. She runs very well, and she is very reliable. We can see the nameplate there. Whether this model would have come with etched nameplates when she was new, I'm not too sure. Unfortunately, when I bought my one, it didn't come with any of the paperwork or anything either. So I don't actually have any sound instructions for this model either, which is a bit of a shame. So I had to do so. I might have to do some guesswork later when we put them onto the track. I know some of the functions off by heart, but I don't know all of them. So I'll probably only play a few of them for you later when we put them all onto the track. The rest of the detail is also very good. We've got some nice proper etched grills there, and you can see through them just about, even though there isn't much inside to see. The doors, oh yes, they do open. I thought they didn't, but they do. So that's nice. So if you want to use those for whatever reason, then you can. The roof is very good. You can see the fan there, and it is a proper fan. And obviously it does move if you want it to, but I disconnected the fan mechanism because it really did make the loco run like rubbish. It really did not run very well. So I disconnected it and it now does run much better. The rest of the roof is quite basic, to be honest. To us, it's just this grille with the fan that's actually the main piece of detail, to be honest. The rest of the detailing is mainly just moulded, which is a bit of a shame, but I'm sure if Hornby decides to retool this in the future, or if another company decides to make the Class 50, I'm sure they would do that much better. But overall, she's not too bad, really. I don't really know what else to say. She's absolutely fantastic. I think she's got some proper cab detail, but you can't see it very well. We have obviously got the separately fitted wipers, which are nice. She does have them couplings. I haven't fitted any coupling to either end as of yet, because again, I don't have anything for her to pull. So there isn't really any need for me to fit a coupling to her at the moment. But they are loco mounted, well, chassis mounted, body mounted, whatever you want to call them, and then pockets, which I don't really like, to be honest, and this one seems to be a little bit stiff for whatever reason. It doesn't want to move very well. Does the other one want to move nicely? Nope. Oh, that would help if I move the, there we go, move that 3-link coupling out of the way. There we go. So this coupling moves better than the other one. So I'll have to keep that in mind. If I do decide to fit a coupling, I'll fit it to this end, because I know this end pocket seems to move better than the other one. That's okay. It's not a massive issue, but that's fine. But anyway, enough rambling on. I think what we need to do now is put her on the track and see how she runs.